Mr. Kasperzak, how come you have not made any freemium games yet?
Because they're lame. They're lamium, as I see.
Lamium?
You're lame.
Because as I see it, pretty much all the games that I want to make in the future are gonna be freemium games because it's like the only way to make money nowadays. I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not that like making money is the only purpose of making games, but it's a nice byproduct if you can pull it off.
Yeah. No, I do think a lot of ordinary genre games um, will definitely see a big shift towards freemium. Like Team Fortress 2 is a big switch for them. They'll be making that somewhat freemium, buy hats, and that might be a huge thing.
I can't believe that I bought Team Fortress 2 for like $40 in 2007, and I've spent about 60 in the last week.
Hats.
I didn't buy the hats. I bought all the other stuff, like the guns I haven't unlocked in 3 years' time.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of thinking it's got some pretty good potential as a multiplayer type setup. You know?
Definitely multi.
Yeah, I also want to go premium, but there's more than one way to do it. There's like the evil way where you have $100 purchases for Smurfberries, and I
Mm.
kind of feel insulted when I see that in these games. But then there's the other way that I think is kind of doing it, taking the high road and not trying to rip off the customer based on his neurotic addiction of playing the game. So right way, wrong way, but I really like the concept, and in-app purchase is going to, I think, change how I make apps. They're all going to be free and have in-app stuff.
Yeah.
That is a good deal.
I mean, the big thing
I
that
like.
I
Go ahead.
see is that when people buy a multiplayer game nowadays, they kind of just get that game. And the thing with multiplayer game players is they really want to be able to be playing a game long term very often. And the thing is, if the game runs out of content after a while, they get really angry, which is always happening in the Galcon forums. People get mad because I'm not doing a bunch of updates. But the thing about doing a bunch of updates is there's really not a lot of benefit to doing updates the way it's set up because there's no way to charge them. So if I do more of a freemium type game, people can be buying updates, and I think that'll actually make the customers happier and make them enjoy the game more than right now where it's like the other way around, where they just get mad because there's nothing more to buy or nothing more to do after a certain point, you know?
Grah, I want more updates like that one guy.
On the other
Don't
hand,
respond to that. I'm sorry.
what? No, go ahead.
Nothing. Nothing. No, I'm adding background noise. Andy Mort was trying to say something and he got scared off. So
Oh, I just didn't want to interrupt. No, I was going to say, like, yeah, there's a good way and a bad way to do it, I agree. And I think a good way is, like, I really like the way Team Fortress has it. Like, you can unlock every single thing in the game randomly just over time. And nothing you get, nothing you unlock, and nothing you buy will give you an advantage in the game. Every item has a pro and a con, which significantly hampers you, like the cons, and it makes you change your playstyle. So, I mean, after I bought like 3 spy items, it didn't make me a better spy or anything. It basically created a new class of character that I could play. So it just added to the class selection, I guess, which is really interesting. And I don't think it's like a rip-off or an abuse of the people at all. I think it's a really good implementation.
that's cool. I didn't realize that it was. Hey, Mike's got a thing, but no, that's cool. Oh shit, he's watching me. Ha ha! Quiet me. Someone else say something so it jumps to someone else.
So what's wrong with the Smurfberries thing, anyways? Do you have a what makes that evil? Like if we're gonna divide things into good and evil.
Well, it's number one, it's saying that you value your game as more than anything else out there that you can buy for PS3. But more than that, I think that it's saying if you have poor impulse control, then we're going to soak you.
Oh, we are
It's
going to
like,
soak you good.
that's how it's evil.
Oh, bye, Mike.
So I mean,
Well, it's not really like poor impulse control that made me buy all that crap. It's just that. Okay, yeah, that's poor impulse control.
Yeah.
Well, with the Crunchberries or the medallions, it's different from like Team Fortress though, because you're buying a currency that is gone after you use it to speed up your building. That's all you're doing, speeding up stuff normally, so that you don't have to wait 8 hours to see your progress. It's you buy it and then it's gone. And Tapfish and Farmville, but they all follow this pattern of speeding up your time.
I mean, the funny
Right.
thing about those types of purchases, it almost seems like you're paying money to not have to play the game because the game is so incredibly bad that you want to pay money just not to play it. What I wonder what they're doing right, because they're apparently doing something right. They're making their game somehow enticing enough that people will pay money not to play it so that they can play the game. Now, how are they doing that? Because there's got to be something good in there that we can apply to our games, other than just dismissing it as completely worthless. Because there's something in there they're doing right?
Yeah, I think they must have like psychologists designing.
I imagine it's creating the.
Go ahead.
I lagged a bit. I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt.
What's Hummel doing over there, by the way? Is that just your desktop, Mr. Hummel?
He's disconnecting. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Totally
so
forgot what we were saying. Na-na-na-na.
Right. Well, to answer Phil, this idea of adding an element of your game that's boring on purpose just so that you want to buy something, they're creating the problem and then they're selling you the solution. Is it addictive to have a game that says come back in 5 hours? And have you played these? You need to play these, number one. Like there's this one game, Tapfish. The more fish you have, the dirtier your fish tank gets, and you have to clean it by rubbing the iPhone to clean your tank or they'll get sick. And they'll actually sell you a product in the game that will clean your tank for you. So they create the problem, and then you get annoyed by having to do it all the time. And then they sell you the cure to it. So it's like this circle.
See, the reason
Wow.
I haven't played those games extensively is because I get bored playing games after about 8 seconds unless I've been totally gripped by the game, and all those things seem to immediately present me with a screen of boredom, so I never get past that. I'm just like, this game is so incredibly boring, I can't possibly bear to spend more than 5 seconds just seeing the startup screen and quitting. I've tried a bunch of times. I went on an air flight the other day. I think it was when I went to GDC. I went and I got the Smurfs game on my iPod, and I was going to play that on the plane ride over. And I powered it up, and about, I think, 30 seconds into it, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. There's just nothing happening.
I've actually never played Smurfs. I guess I should play it before I talk about it. But the idea, when I see these in-app purchases of $100 amounts, I just kind of...
Hey, Andy.
Mike,
Tell us what you think about in-app purchases and freemium and all that as applied to Smurfberries.
Smurfberries. So I've never heard of them before. I just heard you guys talking about them just now. So I have a relatively fresh opinion on them. But
and none of us have actually played the game.
yeah. So I mean,
the theory is good.
it's interesting. I mean, what they're doing is they're providing you. Yeah. I don't know, it can be bad, it can be done poorly, but when the game demands it, it kind of sucks. So Team Fortress 2 can pull off the opposite effect because they have so much content. I've played for 3 years and I haven't unlocked everything. And I get an unlock almost every day I play. So it's not rare. It's just